Serious, has a friend done / said something that just straight up ended the friendship? What happened? She asked me to poke around in her husband's life for proof that he was cheating. For months she asked me. I finally gave in. Found proof. In process of gaining proof, husband started trying to hook up with me, save texts and email he had sent. Showed everything to her. She called me a lying bitch and said I faked it all because I wanted to sleep with her husband. Instantly dropped her as a friend. Don't have time for crazy. She asked for a favor, and mates rates when she was getting married, for me to do her wedding photography. I agreed and did her a really cheap deal, but I worked full time at the time, so told her it'd be several weeks before I'd be able to get through editing them all. She was impatient, bitched about it on Facebook, and complained when they weren't ready after she came back from her honeymoon. Once I'd given her the photos, I cut her out of my life. I'm a photographer and it's people like this who have stopped me from doing my work for free or at a big discount. Photographed my friend's sister's wedding for almost nothing and she got bitchy and impatient with me because it took me 2 weeks to go through 1,000 photos and then edit them while being a full-time student. I don't think people realize how much time and work goes into being a photographer. One of my best friends asked me to buy a shirt for him on my credit card. Okay, he said he would pay me at the end of the month. Between these dates, we went out one day, and, by the end of the night, he said he lost the shirt. He brought it along, because he was going to change later. The next day, he would say he lost it in my car, and, since I didn't find it, he wouldn't pay me because he lost in my car. Okay then, you two. You got off cheap. If lend someone $20 and never see them again, that was money well spent. Similar story. Max asked if he could borrow my Simon and Garfunkel at Central Park tape to take on his vacation. I was reluctant because it was my favorite tape, but I agreed anyway. When he got back 2 weeks later I asked for my tape back. Oh, I don't have it. I asked my little brother to bring it out of the hotel when we were leaving but he didn't. Well, buy me a replacement then. No, it's not my fault, it's my little brother's. His little brother was 5. That was 1982. I still haven't forgotten. You, Max. I hate Max so much right now. He told me I owed him because he was nice to me after my mom died. That's not how friendship works. You don't keep score. While you may not keep an exact score and this may not apply to your specific situation, I do think that every once in a while you should evaluate whether someone is worth the time you invest in them or whether they are just leeching off you because they know you like them. Had a few friends like this so far. I'm always willing to help a friend, whether it's short-term loans, if I can afford them, helping with projects around the house, helping people move, but when I know I have easily spent 40+ hours on helping someone on stuff like moving and renovating which is zero fun for me and then ask them for a few hours of their time to help me move and I get a, "nah, not feeling like it," kind of response, then yes, they do kinda owe me that. It's called a friendship, not an "I'll help you with anything and you can on me" ship. I had a friend through middle school and high school. We talked a lot, had the same social circle, hung out quite a bit because we lived close. Right after high school, I decided I wanted to stop being and he just wanted to get in better shape / add some muscle. We started hanging out every day, using my Bowflex / free weights. So basically, for a year and a half, we hung out about 2 to 4 hours a day, working out and then playing video games, chatting, etc. At one point he's too busy with school to work out anymore, even though he still lived 3 blocks away. Still, though, no big. One night, we're having a get-together with a bunch of high school friends, and we decide to go to the bar. I say, at one point, that we should hang out more. It was cool chilling together so often when we were working out. Him, well, I only have so much time because of school. And I have 2 tiers of friends. There's my best friends, he names 3 or 4 of our mutual friends, and then you're on the next tier down. Me, seriously? We hung out every day for almost 2 years. Him, well, you had a Bowflex. I didn't outwardly show my reaction, and I didn't make a big social drama out of it. I just decided, at that point, well, that's a pretty cold / thing to say. So I pretty much just stopped talking to him after that. I think we've spoken/seen each other once since then, and that was about 7 years ago. Well, I think it's natural to put friends in groups. I would say I have around 10 best friends. Even within that group there are a few that I'm even closer with than the others. This doesn't really affect how much I saw them when we were living close to each other, and I still talk to all of them now that I moved away. But I have a lot of good friends outside that group who I know aren't as good friends as those 10. And I know it's the same for them. We love each other's company and have a great time together, but when we're in a really terrible place or when we need our best friends for something, we generally don't turn to each other first. I think it's natural to have that, otherwise you spend so much time with everyone that you don't create anything special with a few of them and you miss out on some of the most wonderful people you'll ever experience the pleasure of being friends with. It's a whole other thing to tell people about that and rank them coldly like that. I would never tell my good friends that, especially since they're friends with my best friends. That's just. Also, I understand that my tiering isn't necessarily because of something my not best friends do wrong, but more because I have a deeper connection and more mutual love with my best friends. It's like when a bunch of people give you presents. You're gonna get some amazing presents, you're gonna get some rather lackluster ones. No matter what, you show about the same level of appreciation to the gift givers because they still made an effort to bring you something, and really it's the thought that counts. At the same time, when you're alone, you definitely think of your favorite presents much more than the regular ones. It's just natural. You don't parade that around other people though, that's a personal thing. Many years ago when I found out I was pregnant with my daughter, my sister found out she lost her baby at the same time. To keep my family from worrying about me and to give my sister time to emotionally heal, I decided to wait till the 12-week mark to tell my family. I couldn't keep the news to myself though, so I told 3 of my friends and told them to keep it a secret and why they needed to. The 12-week mark rolls around and my parents say that they already know because one of my friends told them. I confront this friend, she denies it. Another friend who knew called her on her, so she finally admitted it. She said she thought my parents deserved to know and that I wouldn't even have to keep a pregnancy a secret if I weren't such a slut who got pregnant only months into marriage. Then she broke into the home of the friend who called her out and stole a ton of stuff. So she lost 2 friends that day. And from what people tell me, she's been slowly losing the few she has left. Her behavior is mind-boggling. What the hell happened to her? Hesitant face. This is mentally ill behavior. So are a ton of other stories in this thread. Sure, some of these people are just, but a lot of them seem to have mental illness as an underlying theme. If someone you have known for years suddenly changes their personality seemingly overnight, there is a good chance it could be some type of mental illness, not them just being a. One of my friends, girl A, had her best friend, girl B, sort of deteriorate like this. B was normal, seemingly, and then one day got drunk on A's birthday, called A's mom saying that A got kidnapped and was being gangbanged in a frat house, which was completely false, but A's mom ended up calling the cops. Went down, and B made a cry by absolutely blowing up in A's face. A's mom finally shows up and B acts like nothing happened. B now wants A to apologize before B will talk to A again. Sociopath. What? If someone had me thinking my daughter was in danger when she was perfectly safe, I would cunt punch the bitch. I have a similar story. I got pregnant, and my parents lived thousands of miles away. Well, it just so happened that they were coming to visit in about a week. I wanted to wait to tell them face to face. I did, however, decide to tell my grandma, who my parents were going to stay with when they came down. I made it very clear to her that I wanted to be the one to tell my parents that I was expecting. Well, fast forward about a week. My parents were acting really weird around me, and I had the feeling that something was amiss. They informed me that my grandma told them that I was pregnant. Well, I went to my grandma's house, and there was a pretty big family blowout. My parents agreed that she had no right to do that. It took me almost a year to be on speaking terms with my grandma again. I ended up having a miscarriage too, so that was a bummer. Sad face. Edit, grammar and whatnot.